So you got the 10th anniversary of the Nebworth gigs this week, which the Manics played. What do you remember about it? Do you still remember it?
Yeah, I remember it really well. I mean, it was a history-making weekend, and it was nice to be an observer, really. To be kind of a lot of upheaval and trauma in our lives up till then, and it was great just sitting back and watching the biggest band in the world, play to the masses.
Because it's weird, when you're in the middle of a sort of historical thing, you're often not really aware of it. Were you aware? Did you have that feeling strongly at the time?
Yeah, especially, the defining moment for me was when John Squire came on. I think it was the second night for Champagne Supernova and played the most blistering kind of solo. It was, the passing of the baton from the great Manchester band to the next great Manchester band. And it was just fantastic. The sun was setting and John came on and it was glorious.
You yourself played in front of, how many was there? Was it 250,000 people?
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was each day or was it 125 each day? I can't remember. After being a cult band, we were starting to really go overground, so there was no pressure. It was just a really nice feeling. Design for Life had been out for I think we supported Oasis at Main Road about 2 months before. Up to then, we'd been a kind of cool cult band, but all of a sudden, ordinary people, shall we say, were getting into us. So it was interesting for us because all our motorcycle emptiness, stuff off the Holy Bible, people didn't really know that at Nebworth. We thought we were going to play a mini greatest hit set, but all really people wanted to know was stuff off Everything Must Go album.
So was it kind of the first taste of superstar?
Yeah, I think we had that at Main Road when Oasis literally shook the foundations of Main Road. That was almost a better gig in some ways in terms of it was their people, shall we say?
Right, but, it's slightly more intimate.
Yeah, slightly. If you're talking in the scale of it, but Nebworth was just. I think they must have found it difficult after, reaching that peak. I think they probably did have a few years where they thought, what do we do now? I know, on a smaller scale, when we played the Millennium Stadium on New Year's Eve, it took us a couple of years, really, to kind of reassess what we wanted to do. So they must have felt, we played the biggest gig in the world. What do we do now?
Where do we go from there? I mean, you're on your solo stuff now. I Shot the Zeitgeist. When's that coming out?
I think it's September the 18th.
Okay.
Yes, September the 18th. It's a while off.
And do you know your first single?
Yeah, it's a track called "Break My Heart Slowly," which will be out a week or so before that, I guess.
Is it gonna break our heart slowly when we hear
it? Depends what you think of my voice. It could do, yeah.
And
I say it's gloriously independent.
Cool. I mean, do you like working on your own? Of course, James has been doing his stuff. The Great Western. What do you reckon to it?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew James had a great album with it. He could he could write 5 songs every day. He's just an absolute musical powerhouse, and I always knew he'd do something really kind of 70s singer-songwriting. And mine is kind of the polar opposite to that. It's much more based on ideas and the kind of independent music I grew up liking. It's much more. I know his is the kind of, if he's Damon, then I'm Graham.
Right. Is that why you wanted to do something away from the rest of the band? Just follow your own, just no compromise sort of situation?
Yeah, it was really. I paid for everything myself. I did everything myself. I felt just a bit free. And, nothing will ever replace the thrill you get as the three of us doing Manic Street Preachers, but it was just good to do something fiercely independent and odd.
Creatively, is there something? What's happening? What will happen with the Manics? Do you think? Is there something? Is there more to come from that fusion?
Oh, definitely. But I think I always like the way John Frusciante, for instance, with the Chili Peppers, always does really kind of odd and different little solo albums. They don't sell much, but it just seems like he needs that little vent.
How do you find it just physically being on stage on your own?
Now that is petrifying. It's driven me to drink. I've been teetotal for years and years, but the 3 solo gigs I've done have just been off my head.
Honestly, has it kicked you in a bit of booze?
It has, which is very odd to me. I must, in a fun sense, without the security blanket.
But you're laying yourself bare, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? You're exposing your vulnerabilities.
Well, there's a fair amount of comedy in my gigs, actually. Not intentional, I may add.
Are you going to be out touring then?
I did the Hay Festival. It's kind of more art festivals. I don't really want to put myself on any kind of pedestal and say I'm a kind of real out there performer yet, because I don't know. I'm just fumbling my way through it.
Fumbling your way through, and people can find you if they're keen. Well, listen,
that's exactly it. Yeah.
So there's no date. There's no date for Manics or reunions or ideas for that.
Well, we've done a lot of songs. We're halfway through an album really of. The only way we can describe it is Guns N' Roses playing All You Need Is Love.
Right. Okay.
Loads of melody, but in a really rock. It's a kind of mix of Generation Terrorist and Everything Must Go. That's the template we want to, I think we've rediscovered what we do best. by doing solo albums, really.
Mate, it sounds fantastic. It sounds a job done. Nicky, thanks a lot for taking time out for us, mate, and take care.